What's up, Brodies, and welcome back to the road trip. It's me, Tommy Russell Jr., and in today's video, we are wrapping up our Artists You Should Know series with our Sunday must-sees. We still got our Sunday I'm Interested, but this is our final installment of the Artists You Should Know, Sunday edition. Y'all, I'm so excited for Sunday, but I'm also like dying inside because I feel like I'm gonna miss a lot of great artists because I really, really, really want to see my number one. And I feel like it's pretty obvious, but we'll still build up the suspense, right? We'll build up the hype. But yeah, I am so excited for Sunday. I feel like there are some amazing artists that are gonna be performing. So I say let's just get right into it, y'all, and jump into our Sunday must-sees for Coachella 2023. All right, y'all. At number one, I'm not even gonna play with you. It's Frank, okay? Number one is Frank. Usually in my videos for the must-sees, I'll leave my number one really, really at like, the last one just to be like, oh, guess it. No, it's Frank. It's Frank Ocean, okay? If you don't know who Frank Ocean is, I'm gonna need you to exit out this video, go on YouTube, search, do a deep dive of your own, go into it all. Frank Ocean is the one. Frank Ocean, y'all, you have no idea, but you're about to find out. Frank Ocean is the reason that I came out. Like, absolutely the reason. I remember when it was 2012. Yeah, summer of 2012. I had got the album. I opened it up. The little card came out that had his like coming out story, his experience with a younger friend that he had had when he was younger, and how he realized that he was queer. And I mean, that I thought it was so brave, and the amount of backlash that he took on was so much. And at the time, I really I really put him on a really high pedestal, and I had wanted him to like be the example of what it was to be gay, and a gay black man, and a gay black man in the music industry and still hip hop community, because he's so tied to Odd Future, right? Which is Tyler the Creator, if you don't know. So like it's this hyper masculine vibe that they're trying to get off, and more hyper masculine in like the alt like skateboardy kind of way, but still very masculine, very like non-queer. Even though they were doing a lot of queer stuff, right? But we know it's 2023. We know the ones that are playing like that, or the ones that are talking the most, are usually the ones that are dabbling in it. So, um, yeah, but Frank has been through such a journey, and I think I put him on such a pedestal that I was disappointed when he stepped out of the limelight and he didn't live up to my expectations of being, always there and like showing me the way. And it took me some years to really grow and understand the amount of pressure that must be. I was 18, I was 18, 19 years old. And at the time, I was just looking for someone to like guide me and show me the way. And it was silly to put that on this man that I've never met, or a man who may never know who I am or give a damn. But I don't know. I love Frank Ocean. For that alone, he will forever hold a spot in my heart, okay? But past that, his music is just everything and more. It's like alternative R&B at its finest, okay? Channel Orange is the project, okay? Channel Orange is everything. Channel Orange is, yeah, check out Channel Orange. Absolutely. You can also check out Nostalgia Ultra. That was one of his EPs, and that mixtape is something. Ooh, oh my goodness. It's just his voice, and like, it just excites me, y'all. It excites me. I have seen Frank Ocean one time in my life, and that was at FYF Fest. Which one is FYF? Where's FYF? Right here. FYF Fest, and I had to sneak in. Yeah, I had to sneak in because I had bought tickets. One, I bought tickets online, got scammed. That's my fault. Then I drove out to LA because I was living in Orange at the time. I was still going to Chapman University. Drove out to LA, found some women that were selling some tickets, and they were like, "Here you go. Here's our pass." I get to the line, I get to check in, and it won't scan. And I'm like, "What's going on?" And they tell me, "Oh, there's no in and outs. There's no in and outs." What do you mean there's no in and outs? I didn't pay $75 for this ticket. What are you talking about? So I go, absolutely not. Like, what? I don't know why I didn't have a shirt underneath the hoodie I was wearing, but I didn't have a shirt underneath the hoodie I was wearing. So I told the security guards, I was like, no, security told me I could go get a hoodie because I haven't been wearing a shirt all day. It was a part of my outfit, and y'all need to let me in because I paid all this money. And they're like, who? Which security? And I'm like, there's a bunch of you. Look at this. There's a bunch of different lines. How am I supposed to know? I don't see him right here, but I'm telling you, it was a dude, and he needs to let me in. So y'all need to find him or y'all need to figure it out. But I came here specifically to see Frank Ocean. And you're not going to tell me that I've been here all day, which I hadn't. I was there maybe like 30 minutes. But y'all not going to tell me that I've been here all day and I can't get in this line and I paid my money, woo, 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 which I did pay my money. I have a wristband to prove it. I did pay for it. But, you know, obviously the in and outs. Either way, they let me in, y'all. And I ran inside. And oh my God, what a show. What a show. Cinematically, which yeah, that's partly where I'm gonna be standing because I want to see what he's gonna do cinematically because it's something to marvel. Um, but yeah, I got in, y'all, and I think my time was a little ruined because I wasn't as close as I wanted to be. But obviously, I showed up late, and I was also hating on my ex because at the time we had just started talking again, and he was all the way at the front gate, like has some amazing pictures. It was just a sight, and I was just jealous because I wasn't up there. So I feel like that also took away from my time. So I am excited to see Frank at my favorite place in the world, Coachella, and like just sit out and listen to him. There's two ways I've been thinking about it. Do I want to be up close and be able to see him and be able to like be in the midst of it by being in the crowd and closer? Or do I want to sit out in the grass, in the lawn, lay back, maybe eat some pizza toppings and like just listen to Frank and melt away at his voice and just like live in the moment? Like, oh my gosh, like it's Frank Ocean, y'all. My favorite album of Frank Ocean's is Endless. I know it sounds crazy. Endless is the album that got him out of his contract with, is it Def Jam? I think it's Def Jam, but the record label that he was originally with, that album got him out of his contract. Such a clever way to do it. And then he released Blonde. Blonde was all him. That was all, I'm assuming, on his label or whatever label he's with now. Like, that's how he did that. But such a musical genius. Some of my favorite songs by Frank Ocean are going to be Pilot Jones, White Ferrari, Wise Man, Rushes 2. Oh my goodness, I could go on and on and on. Blonde is incredible, y'all. Nights, like what? Pink and White, like yeah. I mean, what can't I say about Frank Ocean except for I think the hardest thing with him is that it's hard to be a stan. I should be a stan. Like I am a stan, but I just refuse to put myself through that. It's so hard, y'all. It's hard to get merch. It's hard to get music. It's hard to get to see him. Like, I get the privacy, but I think Beyonce probably does it really the best when it comes to still being private, but still giving the people enough. And it still feels like not enough, but I have to respect it and say, like, Beyonce does still feed her fans. She absolutely still feeds the beehive. May not be as much as they want it to be, but she definitely feeds them. And I think Frank leaves us with nothing sometimes. He leaves us with, he does all the time, you know? I still kick myself in the foot about it, but I was bitter. I was so 2017 as well as FYF because FYF was so important because we went to Sasquatch. Here it is right there. Sasquatch that year. That was up in the gorge in Washington. We drove up there and Frank canceled a week before his performance because of stage issues, because they couldn't fit the stage he wanted there. And it was just like, you just found out this a week ago? And that's what worries me about this set is like, is Frank going to come up with a cancellation? I'm just like, Frank is notorious for canceling. Notorious. So I still haven't fully embraced the fact that he's actually going to be performing because I'm worried that he's going to flake again. Frank, if you're watching this, you need to be there. You need to be at Coachella 2023. I need to see you on the 23rd, that Sunday. Yeah. You need to be there. You need to be there. And I'm excited to see you and I love you. But I need you to be there. I need you to be there. I'm going to be very hurt. I'm going to be extremely hurt if you don't show up. Please show up. And I do want to add too, I heard some other content creators saying like, oh, I don't see why Frank Ocean is a headliner. He's not that relevant or he's not that big. Let me tell you something. Frank is always going to be relevant, okay? Frank is one of the few artists, a Beyonce, a Drake, a Kanye, a Taylor Swift. When they put out music, the world stops. Okay? The world stops and marvels at this piece of work. And it does the numbers, but it also just has a cultural shift or an impact. And Frank does that. It's crazy for us to not think that Frank is not as big as he is. I don't care what his monthly listeners are on Spotify currently, which is like at 23, 25 million listeners. Yeah. And he hasn't put out an album since 2016. I think that says his relevance. Yeah. And new music, we got like two songs, Cayendo and I think Dear April. Yeah. So he's relevant. He's absolutely relevant, and he deserves to be a headliner over any of the artists that are headliners right now. Absolutely. Frank Ocean has put in the work. He's been here for decades. Not decades, but he's been here for a solid decade and some change. You can't tell me that Frank Ocean does not deserve a headlining spot. We can argue that stuff in the comments. I'll make a whole video about it. I'll fight about that one. No, Frank is absolutely a headliner. So there's that. But I'm gonna wrap up my little Frank spiel because again I could go on and on and on. But yeah, Frank Ocean is everything and more. I'm definitely I don't I'm torn between how I'm gonna be there because I do want to see him up close. Definitely don't want to be up front at the gate like I was with Doja, but I want to be in a nice spot for Frank, and so I know that's gonna require me to go out there a little early. But yeah, I am a huge Frank Ocean stan. I love Frank. Top three favorite artists of all time. I love Frank Ocean. I love Frank Ocean. I love Frank Ocean. I love Frank Ocean. All right, y'all. At number two, we have Miss Callie Uchis. Callie Uchis. Oh my goodness. Miss Callie Uchis. Let me tell you, she has completely taken over my ears when it comes to this new album, Red Moon and Venus. Boy, this album is something else. I love this album. It's so good, y'all. I was put on to Kali Uchis back in 2016, late 2016, when she featured on Daniel Caesar's Get You. Oh, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm liking his voice. I'm liking what I hear. And then I stumbled onto Tyrant later on in 2017. It was like June of 2017. And that featured Georgia Smith. And I think I found that song through Georgia because I was in my bag with Georgia. Loved Georgia. So after Tyrant, about a month or so later, Tyler released his album, Flower Boy, one of my favorite albums of all time. And just favorite Tyler album for sure of all time. But I love the song See You Again. She's featured on there. And I was like, this Cali girl she's cooking something up. Like, she's doing her thing right now, and I'm really vibing with it. So at this time, I have Get You, Tyrant, and See You Again. Those are kind of the three songs I really know of Cali. That's it. Well, we move into 2018, and that's when we get another single called After the Storm. That one's featuring Tyler and Bootsy Collins. Love that. The album is released in April, like April 6th, and then she performs at Coachella that April as well. Well, we ended up seeing her come out for Daniel Caesar. They did Get You together. Loved it. I don't think I saw her set. I, again, wasn't that invested in her, or I think maybe she was conflicting with somebody. It was something, but we didn't get to see her for 2018 except for when she came out for Daniel Caesar. But I didn't really listen to that album. That album didn't really get me like that. It was isolation. I did like Tyrant and I did like After the Storm. Thought those were amazing songs. That Bootsy Collins was in that. Like, I thought those were great, but the album just didn't get me, y'all. And I don't know, but I rode those singles out, I guess, until 2020. And I remember I was driving into a parking lot over off La Tijera, where the Ralph's is over in LA, y'all. And I don't know how I got onto the album. I think it was through Fue Mejor. But she released this album, her sophomore album called, and I'm going to read it off the paper because I can't say it by memory. Sin miedo del amor y otras demonios, okay? And all that means is fearless of love and other demons, okay? Oh, my gosh. That album, y'all, and it's all in Spanish. I want to say that was her first project in Spanish fully. Boy, gosh. Fue Mejor, that thing took me all the way through that album. And I was like, oh, yeah. I like that. That album really got me. Then fast forward to 2022, I end up hearing Fue Mejor, the remix with SZA. Love that. And then I obviously liked the album, but I saw her open up for Tyler, the Creator out here in Dallas. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. I'm hooked. Like her performance was incredible. She did great. Vocals for days. Like performance wise, she was dancing. She was just engaging. It was everything. I thought her performance was incredible. And I was hooked. I was like, okay, I like Callie. So this new album came out, y'all, and I fell in love. I fell in love. I'm head over heels about Callie. I want to see Callie so bad, but something tells me it's going to conflict with Frank. It's going to conflict with Frank, and I'm hurting. I'm hurting. It would be great if she was on the main stage. If she's on the main stage, Coachella watched this video and they wanted me to win. They wanted me to win Coachella this year. They wanted me to have an amazing experience this year, and they put her on the main stage because I want to see Red Moon in Venus so bad. I want to see it. I want to see it. The whole album slaps. The whole album. Listen to the whole album. It's all there. Listen to it. It's all great. I love it all. Can't say enough about Kali Uchis. I think she is the girl. She is the moment. She is the time. I want to say that the album is just as good as SOS. Absolutely. I love it. I think it's incredible. And y'all need to go check Callie out because Callie is doing her thing. She's beautiful too. Oh my gosh. She's everything. She's everything. Go check out Callie. Go check out Callie Uchis. You will not be disappointed at all. All right, y'all. At number 3, we have J. Paul. J. Paul, and I believe it's J, not Jai, but Jai Paul. I'd say I got a lot of my information about J. Paul from the YouTube channel Middle 8, so go ahead and check them out up above. But basically, what he breaks down when it comes to J. Paul, which I think is such an interesting story and also very tragic, and it's really sad. But J. Paul was this artist on like the cutting edge of like R&B, alternative R&B, and like I really actually like the music. One of his first big songs, and again, y'all know I always seem to find the connections with Drake somewhere in there, right? But he released a song called Pt.1, and that song Drake ended up sampling in his song Dreams Money Can Buy. And I mean, I love that song. So when I found out through all this deep dive and like all that stuff that he was actually the sample that Drake got that from, I was like, oh, yeah, Jay. Oh, okay. You're already on my radar. Okay, I like you already. And Beyonce also sampled the song in End of Time. So he was hot. I mean, to me, if Beyonce and Drake are sampling your stuff, you're definitely onto something. Okay. And so he was, I guess, putting out his music. Everybody was interested in him. I think he was making top 10 lists and things like that. And his laptop got stolen, and they took his laptop and then leaked all of his music. So it almost sounds like some type of industry ploy, or like somebody, within the industry did this, because I can't imagine that somebody's just stealing a laptop and they're like, oh, I'm just going to leak this music. Like, it's just like, it seems a little more staged or like set up, It's unfortunate too, because then he, I think, went into a very deep depression. He stepped aside and let music go. But he influenced so many people. I've heard he influenced Frank. I can hear it. Absolutely can hear it in Frank's music. James Blake, I've heard Lord and Brockhampton have both specifically said that they are highly influenced by J. Paul. And again, all of this I'm finding out through Middle 8. I would say go to his page, check out his video all on J. Paul. It's way more extensive and he does a great job of explaining it. So the album that was leaked is called Leaked 0413, which I'm assuming may be like April 2013 or April 13th. I don't know. But it's on Spotify. I'm assuming it's going to be on Apple Music too. I really loved it. I loved it. I loved where it was going. I loved what he was doing with the work. I think that it was very cutting edge, especially for that time where I probably may not have even been into it, and I would have been thumping myself in the head like years later, like, how was I not on him before? But I absolutely see where he was going. It is unpolished. It's unfinished because it is a leak, but it still sounds really great, and you can see where it was going. And I want to say, based on what Middle 8 said, that project went on to be like some of the top, it was like a top album of that year, or like it did numbers, y'all. So I say check them out just for the story alone, but also check out the music, because the music is something. It's really good, and I just recommend, like, it's a sight to see. And that is another artist that I'm like, damn, I really want to see you, but I really want to see Frank, but I really want to see you. So that's a tough one for me. But I absolutely say, if you're not wed to being in the line to see Frank, or whatever the case may be, absolutely go check out J. Paul. So at number 4, we have Fisher and Chris Lake. Fisher and Chris Lake, y'all. I am more so on the Fisher side, even though Chris Lake is really good. Don't get me wrong. But I'm more on the Fisher side because I love Losing It. I love that song. And I didn't get into that song literally until like 2 weeks after Coachella. And I was like, I love this song. I would love to see this at Coachella. It would be so up. Oh my God. Da, 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 da. And this was in 2019. And then, yeah, I went to the lineup and I was like, oh, this mother was at Coachella. He was at Coachella and I missed it. I missed it. And I want to see it. I want to see Losing It live. Boom, boom, it's just in there. It's in there. I absolutely love Fisher. I think everything he's put out so far is dope. Go see Fisher if you can. Now, Chris Lake. My best friend Alexis, she loves Chris Lake. We were going to go see Chris Lake in 2019 at the Yuma tent, but that thing was packed up. It was too packed. We couldn't even get in, y'all. We were not going to stand in line, so we ended up going to see Blackpink. Definitely not a mistake at all. Blackpink did phenomenal. I was in love. So, we didn't miss out there, but I still would have loved to see Chris Lake. I love Chris Lake's music. I think Chris Lake's music is definitely still upbeat. It makes sense why they're together in this combination. I think it's going to be an amazing show. I wish I could see him. And my best friend Alexis is believing that they're going to be competing with Frank because they're going to try to bring in a big crowd. But I'm also wondering if it'll be Porter Robinson, only because I hear a lot of people talking about Porter Robinson. The name is before Chris Lake and them. So I think that maybe he's that big to where he'll rival. I wasn't necessarily a fan of Porter Robinson myself, but we're just trying to figure out where it fits because I'm really hoping that I can see Chris Lake and Fisher. I really want to see them too. I really want to see the both of them. I think it'll be so much fun. I think it'll be so turned up. And yeah, fingers crossed I will be able to see Fisher and Chris Lake at Coachella this year. At number 5, we got Gordo, and Gordo, aka Carnage. Carnage is, I guess, his other ego, which deals in more like hip hop, rap, and like he produces for that. Whereas Gordo is giving you more house, all in Spanish for the most part, what I've been seeing. But also, if you know anything, Gordo produced a lot of tracks on Honestly Nevermind, and unpopular opinion, Honestly Nevermind is like in my top 5 Drake albums of all time. I love Honestly Nevermind. I think it's a great project. Black Coffee and Gordo do their thing as executive producers. I love Drake's voice on it. I love the flows. I love Falling Back on Me. Falling Back on Me. I love that. He says it like 20 times. I think it's 21 to be exact. Or 19, somewhere in there. But yeah, I love every bit of it. Gordo's contribution to Honestly Nevermind are Currents, Sticky, Massive, Tie That Binds, and Calling My Name, okay? I'm ready. If this is the only time that I'm going to be able to see Honestly Nevermind performed live, because I do not think that he's going to perform Honestly Nevermind at his tour, maybe Massive and probably Jimmy Crooks, because I feel like they didn't change the name a couple times. Or is that, what's it, Munchausen's? What's that thing where everybody sees it as one thing, but it's actually this, whatever that is. Don't judge me. Munchausen's. I don't even know where I got that from. But anyway, I just don't think that I'm going to ever be able to see him perform this live. And I think Gordo is the closest thing I'm going to get to that. So I got to see Gordo. He has great songs of his own, though, too. Are You For Real? Taraka, I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't know, but that's a great song. Hombres y Mujeres, that's a great song. He also has a live performance at Brunch in the Park, Malaga. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's a place. I'm sure it's probably a place. Yeah. But that set, boy, up. Yeah, I'm here for Gordo. I want to see Gordo. I'm hoping that Gordo's earlier on. As long as he's before like 6 o'clock. If he's before 6 o'clock, he's getting seen. Absolutely. I'm gonna go see Gordo. Gordo is low key Honestly Nevermind. Honestly Nevermind is Drake, and so Gordo Drake. That I'm going to go see Drake. No, I'm going to go see Gordo, but absolutely want to see Honestly Nevermind. So if you're into that, if he's your vibe, if you liked Honestly Nevermind, then this is your chance to experience that. Go see Gordo. Next up, we have MK, and MK is short for Marc Kinchen. He's a Detroit native, house artist, DJ, producer. He's doing his thing, y'all. My favorite song by him is Kiss It Better. Oh, man, not to be confused with Riri's Kiss It Better, but his Kiss It Better is with Aluna, and ooh, Ooh, I love that. Oh, I love it. Baby, kiss it better. What you wanna do? Hey, got me bending on the edge of a wildfire. I love that. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that song. They play it all the time at my job at Top Golf, y'all. And I'd be, ooh, what you gonna do? I love that. I love it. I love it, y'all. Y'all gotta check that out. That hoe is it, okay? You also got to check out his Creamfields performance in 2019. That set was dope. I thought it was great. I thought it was upbeat. I thought it was turned up. I thought everybody in the crowd was having a great time. Check that out. Like, apparently he's a legend, really, in the game. Like, he's doing his thing. And the fact that he comes from Detroit, where we know house kind of originated out there, you know, in the Midwest. That's where it came from. So to know that he's in those roots, y'all, yeah, I'm liking what he's doing. I'm liking the stuff that I've heard so far. He has a new song called Rhyme Dust with Dom Dollar. And y'all know I love Dom Dollar. He also has a song called Teardrops with Magic Jordan and Paul Woolford that I love. Like, his music's upbeat, it's fun, it's turned up. And I think that it's going to be a great time in the desert to go see MK. I'm telling you, you know I'm not going to steer y'all wrong. Go see MK, y'all. Get your life, because it's going to be a good time. At number 7, y'all, we have Jackson Wang. Jackson Wang, I know, I'm surprised. I didn't think that I'd be a Jackson Wang fan myself until I listened to the music. And I was like, ooh, okay. So he comes from the super K-pop group GOT7, all right, which I learned about that through one of my besties, Eileen. She is a huge GOT7 fan, okay? So she's like hoping that they're going to do like a little reunion at his set at Coachella, which would be great. I would love that for all the K-pop stans. Like, absolutely go get your life. But Jackson Wang, solo artist, I love it. I love his music, y'all. I think that this latest album, Magic Man, is something vicious. Oh, I listened to it in the gym and I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this. There's a song called Blow. I want to say that's the first song on the album. That music video, boy, it's giving Michael Jackson. It's cinematic. I think all his videos are very cinematic. It's a pleasure and a treat to watch. The only thing that I will say is that when I was looking up live performances, it does sound like that backtrack is so heavy and so loud that I can't hear him. And that does bother me. Y'all know how I am about that. However, he's performing. That man is running around that stage. He's jumping. He's diving. He's dancing. He's giving you a performance. So by no means am I shading it. Like, he's still doing the work. So it makes sense. If you're going to use that backtrack like that, you better be moving. You better be sweating up there. You better be. So no disrespect. So I will say that is, though, why he's a little lower. I would love to hear you huffing and puffing a little bit. I would. I think that you could train to do it. I think that it could be great. So I think that's what kind of detaches me a little bit, because I don't feel the energy that he's giving in that moment. And so it kind of detached me a little bit. But I would say Jackson Wang is still a force, baby. Still a force. I absolutely would love to be able to see him. I think it would be so much fun. I think he would bring so much creativity to that stage, just seeing what he's done so far. He makes me want to scream. I don't know. It's something about his energy or the artwork that he puts together. Like, his performance is stellar. I don't know. It's just something it's everything about that man that makes me be like, yeah, Jackson Wang, I want to see you. I want to see you, sir. All right, at number 8, y'all, this one was really tough. This one was absolutely tough. This one was so tough that I split it. Number 8 is sharing a spot with 2 artists. First artist, IDK. IDK, how I didn't know about this man before. I feel like I feel touched in the head, because I should have heard about this man. Like, why is nobody talking about him? I think IDK is incredible. The first thing I listened to of his was Simple, and I thought, this is a really good album. It was cool, but I was at the gym. And so I realized that was probably affecting how I was taking it in. So I kind of put it on the back burner, but I was like, okay, you're on the list. I'll do a deep dive to see more. And then a few days ago, I did my deep dive, right? I went to his Tiny Desk, and I was like, oh, he's kind of fine. Yeah. He's kind of fine. I ain't even gonna lie to you. The man yeah. That Tiny Desk, he was giving something. I don't know what that was, but he was giving it, and I liked it. So that helps. But also, like, he did his cover of Can't Get Enough by Tamia. Bye. Boy, that, oh my goodness, it was something. It was something else. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's an R&B singer. Okay, I like this. I could get behind this. He's not the greatest vocalist in the world, but it was good enough to where I'm like, okay, I could jam to this, absolutely. But then, like, I scrubbed through and I was like, oh, okay, he's rapping. The rapping on point. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to dive into that. So then later, I went ahead and went to the gym, and I was like, okay, let me check out another album and see what this is doing. So then I did You See for Yourself. And that album is incredible. I'm confused as to how as much as I feel like I'm in the know about music and stuff, I'm surprised that I didn't know about this man before. I'm just so surprised. He's also becoming like a Harvard professor, and he's going to be teaching like music business or something there. Like, that's dope. That is incredible. Oh my gosh. No. Yeah, the music, y'all. I don't even know how to describe it really. I really don't. He almost gives me like a male version of Doja, if I'm being honest. Like, that's kind of the closest example that I can give. I think it's fresh. I think it's exciting. I think it's dope. I think it's very vulnerable. He talks about some very vulnerable stuff in that album that I'm like, whoa, okay, wow. Like, it takes a lot to be that honest and vulnerable for the world. So I love the music. IDK, and he was wearing his do rag. I like IDK. I like him for a lot of reasons. So I just say tap into him, see what you like, because it might be the same things I like too. So next in this 8th spot is Michels Affair. Michels Affair, and funny enough, I don't even know because Wu Tang. I can't remember who it was in the Wu Tang Clan when they introduced them or shouted them out at a performance way back in the day. They called him Michael's Affair, and I'm like, okay, because I didn't know either. So I'm gonna say Michelle's because that's what I'm getting, and the lead, I guess, player, saxophone player, or lead of the band, his name is Leon Michels. So I'm just gonna go with that. Okay, they are a vintage soul funk band. They play a lot of instrumentals for rap groups, really, like, and more specific. Let me get more specific. They did their own remaking, alternative version of the 36th Chamber by Wu Tang Clan, and they did their own version called the 37th Chamber, entering the 37th Chamber, right? And so they're doing a lot of the songs from that, but just instrumentals and like tweaked versions that they produced, right? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And it's not all based on the 36th Chamber. Like, there's a couple songs from individual artists like Giza and Old Dirty Bastard, right? But I think the majority of this album or project that I'm speaking of is from the 36th Chamber. And now I think they're releasing a new project with Black Thought, who sadly, again, I have been out of it because I did not really know about Black Thought until this past Grammys, really. Shame on me, I know. But I love the projects that they have coming out where they're producing the sound for that and he's rapping over it. Oh, so I could imagine who they might bring out, Black Thought, or maybe some members of the Wu-Tang Clan. Like, it could be up. It could really be up. And I'm excited. I'm very excited to see them. I want to see them. I'd say a live performance that I would also recommend of theirs is their Tiny Desk with Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. Yeah, I think that would be a great performance to like really dip your toe in and see them at work. They also have other projects that you could see on there, but I just really like that one. And word was, at least in the description, the editor wrote like it was tough to get it all together because Madlib was so hell bent on having Michels Affair go ahead and like play for them, to be the band for them. So it says a lot that all these rappers and artists are really looking at them like, yeah, y'all are it. Y'all are it. But they also have solo projects too outside of rappers, like Yeti Season. I couldn't tell you what kind of vibe it's giving. It could be like Nepalese. It could be Indian. I don't know. But it's a mixture of sounds. But I really liked it. I loved that album, actually. I was driving to it. I had a little hour drive and I was listening to it and I was like, this is really good. So Yeti Season, great album to check out. But overall, yeah, I say tap into them. See what they got. Michels Affair. At number 9, we have the one, the only, Big Glow. Big glow, GloRilla, baby, GloRilla. Okay, I love me some GloRilla. Okay, and I really only like two songs, Tomorrow and F&F. Okay, F&F, I didn't even like it first. I really only liked it because I was at work cleaning up, and one of the maintenance dudes was jamming with his, like, he had the whole speaker box on his back, and he's like walking through the T line, and he played it, and we all got lit. We was turned up, and like my manager is seasoned. Okay, but she was down up twerking and doing her thing. Like, it was up. It was so up. It was such a time. And I remember that. And then ever since then, I'm like, F and F. I like this song. Tomorrow, did not like Cardi's verse for the longest. And then a girl was bumping it at Chick-fil-A. And she was riding with my twin and them. And we all look good as fuck. And I was like, ooh. I was like, I like that. Okay. So I got into Tomorrow. I just love Big Glow. I love where she's going. I love that she's getting the notoriety that she is. I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily like her little solo project that she had released. I think we have to find better production for her voice because I'm not too much of a fan of her voice on a consistent basis. You know, it kind of starts to sound the same, and it just, I don't know, it just doesn't play well for my ears in listening to a whole album. So I think we just got to figure out the production. Maybe she has to figure out some new melodies or maybe some new vocal inflections to do to kind of change it up a bit. But I love Big Glow, and I think she also holds a special place in my heart because my mom's name is Gloria, and so we call her Glow, and so now I can call her Big Glow, and it's a double entendre. You know what I mean? So I'm here for Big Glow. I want to see her. I want to see her do her thing at Coachella. Congratulations to you, GloRilla, for landing that spot. You've been doing your thing, girl, and I hope you just have fun on that stage. Don't let the pressure get to you. Don't feel like you got to do too much. I just want to see you have fun because that's what I love you for. I love you for having fun, and I love you for doing your thing, baby. Whatever you bring past that, I'm going to praise it, girl. Do your thing. Have fun. And yeah, I recommend going to see GloRilla. Yeah, we got IDK and GloRilla fulfilling that rap bag, possibly Michels Affair. So go ahead and get into it. And last but certainly not least, we have the one, the only, Miss Bjork. Okay, I cannot say that I am actually a Bjork fan. I can't say that I like the music per se. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I have seen Bjork on many a lineup that I've been interested in, but I just didn't go to the shows. I didn't go to the festivals, and I have to say that one thing I've always known about Miss Bjork, cause she's a girl. She spans decades, 80s. Okay, she spans decades, y'all. One thing I've always known about her is she's eclectic. Her aesthetic is something otherworldly. And I would say that akin to her is like Hiatus Coyote, you know, as far as that like where are we? What is this? You know, what is this right now? Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that for her. I love it for her. Originally, she was with a group called the Sugar Cubes. They are all Icelandic, which I did not know. I didn't know. I knew something was different about her, but I didn't know quite what. She's from Iceland, y'all, and I don't know what they got cooking up over there, but I like it. I like it. It seems very interesting. It seems very avant-garde and fun, but also like just I don't know. They're on something over there, and I wanna be on it too. And I'm gonna see her because she's gonna be opening up for Frank. So I'm very excited to see what she brings to the stage. I always love to see art. It kind of reminds me of like a Solange, or you know, not as Solange isn't as eccentric as her, or like Tyler, you know, but like just bringing art to the stage, bringing art to the work, you know, I think is really dope. She's a legend, and I am always here for a legendary performance. Congratulations to you. I want to say Bjork even she did headline Coachella in the past. So it's good to see her, you know, step up under a headliner. We love to see a good legacy act, just like we're seeing Gorillaz. Like, I'm excited to see Bjork. I don't know what I'm in store for, but I know it's going to be a show, and I know she's not going to disappoint. And it may even put me into the music more. I may be able to get into the world of the music a lot more once I see Bjork live. So I'm excited to see her. I definitely say go check her out. You're not wasting your time at all. It's going to be something to marvel at, and you don't want to miss out. So that's it, y'all. That's my top 10 must-sees for Coachella 2023 Sunday edition. I hope that this video was helpful for you. I hope that it pushed you in the direction of those artists that you want to see, or the artists that you were like, oh, I heard of them. I didn't think they were that good. But maybe it allowed you to be like, okay, let me go check out their music. This man is really hype over these artists. Let me just go see what it's about. And hopefully it makes you be like, oh, okay, I see what it's about. I see. And I'm going to go check that out. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Be sure to check out all the other videos that I have. I have my I'm Interested for Sunday coming out this Friday. I have my camping experience at Lake El Dorado back in 2017 video coming out this weekend. And I also have a How to Survive Coachella video coming out this weekend as well. That video is not going to be your run-of-the-mill, like, get your sunscreen, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. I'm trying to give y'all some real tips to make sure you win and have the best time of your life at Coachella. I want you to be there and be like, yeah, this is really like heaven. This is the place to be. Like, I got to come back. Oh my gosh, I experienced everything. Or what I did experience was so fulfilling. I want you to have such a fulfilling time at Coachella that you really leave with some amazing memories. So be on the lookout for that video. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you like this video, go ahead and thumbs up it. And I'll see you on the next road trip. Later, y'all.